Okay, good evening, everybody. This is TC. I'm here to give you the wrap-up of yesterday's end-of-day picks. We had 4 end-of-day picks for yesterday. We have 3, 5, or 4 for today. I'll be reviewing those on the daily chart first, and then I'll be going into some in-depth analysis on the 5-minute chart just to show you the activity for the day. So the first one that we had yesterday was IPCI. It was up 7.82%. Here it is on the daily. You can see it kind of has a bottoming out pattern here with a low of 44 cents. Saw it yesterday. It popped up above the 20 moving day average. We thought that looked really good. It hit our scanners. Could have had a nice pop today, but didn't see that much action. It came up a little bit, so we had a 7.82% potential gain there. Let me put on the 5-minute chart so you can see what I'm talking about. So going into the action at open, you can see there are a few hits here pre-market, and then as I slide to the left a little bit, you see there's some hits at 55, and then after about the 10 o'clock mark it just drops, but then it recovers a little bit and goes back up to where it opened. And that's the action. That's the action of IPCI for yesterday. We also had PTIE on it on our list yesterday. Let me get the daily up for you. Here we have a stock that's been bottoming out and has some spikes here and there. I'd like to show you how this is coming off the bottom of a low around about 91 cents in the past couple weeks. This hit our scanner here, and we alerted it to you guys at around 3:30. Bam, we saw a possible gain of 4.46% on this one. You can see the next candle is above the one before. It's going up to the 20-day moving average and finding some resistance there. Go to the 5-minute chart real quick. We could wrap up what looks to be a pretty nice run out of the open. Little end-of-day action there. That was kind of scary, but not that much volume, nothing to be concerned. Then it opens up strong, goes up and hits about 117 high of the day, which would have gave you a potential gain of 4.46%. Moving on to the next one, we have HZN. Let me get the daily for you. This one we had it about the 5-day moving average, looking pretty strong. We thought we'd for sure get a nice move up to the next retracement level on this guy, but kind of got not as much volume as we would have liked. If I put on the 5-day moving or on the 5-minute chart, you can see that it kind of spiked up here at the 220, which would have gave you the 4.76% possible gains, with only about 32,000 shares traded in this candlestick right here on the 5-minute chart at about 9:45. So it kind of gives you an idea of what kind of action you'll see in the morning when it opens. Generally from 9:30 to 9:50 is the best time to really watch your stocks to see which direction they're headed. Moving on to Joan Energy, see how that one did. Daily chart, moving in on our, okay, here we go. We thought this had a short-term move up to the 246 because it hit that the day before at the 20-day moving average. So coming in there. Next thing you know, this one Not as much volume as we would have liked coming into this one. We need more volume to get over that 20-day moving average, so there's a little bit of resistance there. This one had a potential gain of 1.29%. So on the 5-minute chart, you can kind of see the action. It kind of drops down, has a recover up, and then kind of trades sideways for the rest of the day. We'll be watching this one closely tomorrow, or excuse me, next trading day, Monday. All right, moving on to the end of day playlist that we had come out today. First one is RGSE. Charted this one out from the top to the bottom. Has a nice swing up here, like a cup and handle type pattern. This one yesterday was holding right at the 52-cent mark line. So we thought today surely get our gains. Or excuse me, this is where we called it today. So actually, let me get down to the 5-minute average. There we go. So just to give you an idea of where we call this at, when it hit the scanners, was right about the 1530 mark. So right in here. So then going back out to the daily, you'll see that this one has a potential of about 67 cents is where I think a little bit of a resistance would be. If you look across, you can see all the action down. Pretty much the 32.5% line or the 50% retracement line are the two that will probably give you the most resistance in there. So that's why I like to chart these out, just in case I'm not watching it the next trading day. But it has a pretty strong trend going upwards, staying above the 5-day moving average right here. That's what that line is. All right, so moving on to the next one, we have ears. Okay, this one had a nice little peak here, then retraced down to about 43 cents, came up and tapped the 79-cent mark, holding above the 20-day moving average. So on this one, I think it's safe to say that we'd be looking to retrace our steps or retest rather the 79% or 79-cent price point, which is the 23.6% retracement line. So that will be a little bit of resistance there because we've already gone up and tapped it once and came down, but we're finding some support here again at the 68-cent mark with that daily average. Okay, moving on to ZIOP. This one's been on a lot of people's radar lately. I was trading this one about 315 on my own personal watch list. I believe it was this day I got in for a swing at about 315. And then held it a couple days. But it hit our scanner today, so we put it out. It came up, hit the 381 and retraced its steps back below this retracement level, which was the 50% line. So tomorrow will be interesting if we find support at the 345 or if we find some resistance and kind of get batted down to this 5-day moving average, which will be moving up. So these are all things that you have to consider when trading these stocks. Let's go on this one. I also wanted to show you something. When I charted this, since it was my swing play, I already had this mapped out ahead of time. It was in about the 315 mark, and then as time went on, I put my sale in here, and sure enough, it went up and hit that area. So I was out at about 380 today. And then it retraced its steps down here, got at 330, or excuse me, not 330, at about the 45 minutes before close, which would be 12:45-ish. was called at a good retracement spot, and was released to you guys. All right, and there was a bonus play in here, so let me put MICT in for you guys because you don't want to miss out on this one. Wow, let me go to daily real quick so I can see what's going on, big picture. All right, so it's really tricky how you draw these retracement lines sometimes. So I had to find a place where there was some solid support right here and also a little bit of resistance where it was getting batted down. So I drew it from here down to about this area. Okay, let me just fix that real quick. All right. Okay, so you can see today we alerted this one as a bonus play. Had some action that went through both the 5 and the 20 and hit our scanner. Put on the 5-minute chart. You can see how much power this one had in that first 30 minutes of trading. It went from about 40 cents all the way up to 89 cents. And then it kind of retraced and did the bounce. But getting this at 51 cents, that's a good trade. Short-term gain to 57 cents for this one at the 61.8 retracement line. So that's where we think you'd be able to get out at a good price point to look for. To gain support there, of course, it will go to the next one. Like all on the retracement levels, they're not a guaranteed support or resistance. It's just a place to look to gauge what your stock's doing for the short term. So that pretty much wraps it up. That's all I have. If you have any questions or comments and would like to get more insight on these picks, you can hit me up on my Pound TC channel. Love to have you follow me there, or in the swing trades, or on the end of day chat. Thanks for your time today, guys, and have a great night.